Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your ITFC match reaction show following Hull City 3, Ipswich Town 3. Has anybody got any fingernails left? That's what I want to know. How are we thinking? What are we thinking? How are we feeling? I honestly, what have we just witnessed? Town taking a point on the road, 1 point closer to where, of course, we want to get to, but it could have been all three. And Amari Hutchinson, what a display. Absolutely phenomenal. Let me know what you're thinking this evening. As always, hit the like button, subscribe if you're watching on catch up, comment for the algorithm FTA, and we are back again tomorrow at 1:30 for more in-depth look at it. Mike Baker says, well, another point on the journey to the promised land. Not going to start putting fingers at players. They will go on again Tuesday. Legacy Bates, whatever happens next season, we need a better keeper, says Legacy Bates. And Adke at 4 for 2 goals tonight. Proper winds, but Legacy Bates up. What did you think about the goals conceded tonight? I know the Sky commentary team were less than complimentary in regards to Haladki for the third, particularly. How did you see it? Paul Smith, 1 point nearer promotion, all square of Leeds, who's still a game in hand. Personally, I think that was a good point, especially away from home against Hull. Yeah, Hull. Hey, they're still fighting for a playoff place. It wasn't like it was a mid-table team or a team that had nothing to play for. They were still battling for where they want to get to themselves. An absolute bottle job, says David Elliston. A bit harsh, but maybe you feel the same. I don't know. It's just Jules. Why people were panicking, overreacting? Where everyone points with Leeds, a game in hand, and 2 much easier games to play than their last game. I'd have taken a point before kickoff. Lee, we were so dangerous going forward when we were level, but sat back, went ahead. And Charlie says 2 points dropped when we needed to win. How many more opportunities to do we need to win? For fuck's sake, finishes Charlie. Whatever you're thinking, let us know. But welcoming Curtis. Curtis.
Hello.
Caught your breath yet?
Yeah, just about now. Just about.
I mean, what a game. 3-3, 6 goals. Had chances. Let's not even pretend we didn't have chances to increase that lead at 3-2. You know, even at 3-3, right at the death there, we've got Sarmiento almost on the goal line, not able to toe poke it home. Where do you start with breaking all of that down?
It's hard, isn't it? I don't know. I think it's hard not to feel a little bit. I don't know. I don't think deflated is the word. Disappointed only because when you score 3 goals away from home, you'd like to think that you're taking away those 3 points.
Absolutely.
So maybe a slight bit of disappointment, but I mean, on another day, Hull could have took another chance. Hull could have been the ones to run out 4-3 winners. So you've got to take a silver lining in all this, and that it is just another point on. However, that does make Tuesday's game very, very interesting now. That tonight, though, I mean, you've got Amari Hutchinson's absolutely mental performance. Everything he seemed to touch turned to gold. It was just what a weird feeling to have after a game like that.
Well, yes, because it's a huge game, isn't it, with huge stakes, and you had it in the palm of your hands at various points. Benjamin says, very sorry from Vaz this evening. Defense is so vulnerable at times, and lots of comments about the keeping, about the defense. It's going to be sort of our big Achilles heel. And you're right. You go away from home, you score 3 goals, you expect to win the game. And that third goal particularly, how did you see it? Because I know the Sky commentary team were very critical of Haladki for it.
I thought where he pushed it out didn't do us any favours. I thought he pushed it right back out into the danger zone. And
did he need to push it out? Because I think Andy Hinchcliffe was insinuating he could have caught that.
I don't know. I think to catch that would be a bit harsh. I think it did still come in with a bit of pace. I think to catch it would have been harsh, but I feel like its whereabouts he pushed it out could have been a lot better. I mean, the commentary that I was watching the game with on Town TV, they were actually putting some of the blame on Sam Morsey for the goal. But what I will say is, Sam Morsey can only do so much when Vass passes it him in such a tight area.
The first one in this.
Yeah,
In this
like there's only so much you can do. However, in those moments, I know we pass out from the back, and that's how we play. That's how we are where we are now. But I do wish sometimes when that pass isn't on, you don't need to attempt that pass. You don't need to attempt it. There's nothing wrong with booting it forward when that pass isn't available, because times like that does happen. And in games like this, where everything is crunch time, unfortunately,
I do hear that, but I thought that was on at the time. I think Morsey probably felt he had a little bit more time than he perhaps had. It was a good challenge by the whole player. It's just one of those things. When you live by the sword, you die by it.
That's
as well,
it.
And that's how we play, and we so often get away with it, living dangerously. There are times, Watford away springs to mind, where you're gonna be the architect of your own downfall. But that actually came at a point where I thought we'd lost control of the game a little bit, having gone a goal up. Really, well taken goal by Hurst. Great to see him back in the lineup. We'll talk to him about him in just a second. But I thought at that point in time, yes, it's our own mistake, but I thought we'd lost control of the game. And I think if you look at all the goals tonight, not the third particularly, but particularly the first two for Hull, they all come at the back end of a period where we've just lost control.
I think I messaged one of my friends during the game, and it was just after Tuanzebe got booked for climbing all over their player, and I said the thing is, what it was reminding me of, and I think this was for their first goal, and might have been their second equaliser. I can't remember when he got booked. Now the game feels like it lasted like all night long. It was crazy, but
it's a week-long game.
Yeah, I said to me, mate, it gave me flashbacks to only a few weeks ago at Norwich away, when Tuanzebe got booked, the crowd started getting themselves G'd up, and then we almost crumbled a bit again. We let them get on top of us. We let the pressure come onto us a bit, and it's annoying because like that comment said before, we seemed when they equalised, we seemed absolutely fantastic, chasing to go ahead. But when we were actually ahead, that's when we seemed most at danger of conceding. And I don't know what the reason really is for that. But yeah, I mean at 3-2, we had more than enough chances to go force it ahead. We had more than enough. I mean, what we had Burgess. Well, we had Burgess looping header off the bar. I think that was at 3. I think that was at what 2-2 maybe. I'm not too sure, but we had that. We had the scramble. We had numerous shots right at their keeper. We had more than enough chances to settle it. It's just unfortunate that I think tonight is gonna have to be one of those nights in this final week, because I pray to God we don't do the same thing on Tuesday, because I don't think I can take it again.
Well, Tuesday and Saturday, they're both going to be absolutely massive games, because get a result Tuesday, it's still going to go down to the last game of the season. So you've got two huge games coming up. And talking about huge, ITFC Beard has just gifted 10 Talking Town memberships. Beard, your generosity is almost as good as the town's backline. Mr. Beard, thank you ever so much. That's really generous of you. Thank you ever so much. So claim those. Actually, I don't think you can claim them. I think YouTube just sort of gives them out amongst the people in the chat. So if you are a lucky member now, courtesy of ITFC Beard, get yourself on the Discord. It's going to be a big week on that Discord as the chatter ramps up, obviously Tuesday night. And talk about, ramping up, chatter, big moments, generosity, all of the wonderful things. Amari Hutchinson lays some flowers at that man's door. How special was he this evening?
Would it be right to say that is probably his best performance in a Town shirt?
Correct.
In such a high pressure game. I thought he took the game by the scruff of the neck. I thought he was the one that we were looking to get things onto. He was the one that was starting a lot of attacking, whatever you call it. I'm losing words now, but he was he was the bright spark in that attack. And I mean, the goals were just quality, weren't they? They were just quality. Pinpoint just what you needed to light that fire under us. And it's just so annoying that the goals that he scored tonight haven't come with a win, because I think goals like that, when there isn't a win, when there isn't a W chalk next to them, they can get forgotten about.
As Owen says, we just ruined the magic of his goals.
Yeah, like it's just a shame, because goals like that, when it's a draw or a loss, they get forgotten about. Whereas, we should be sat here celebrating a win due to his just wand of a foot. But
absolutely,
it's tonight. I think. Well, never mind us being disappointed. I think he'll be getting back on that coach, and I think he'll be more disappointed than most that the quality that he's shown tonight hasn't actually got us the 3 points that I say we deserved. I think Hull also deserved their point. They were fighting. They kept fighting, but I think he'll be more disappointed than most that he's managed to produce 2 moments of madness, and yet he's not got those 2 extra points to go on with.
Yeah, those 2 absolute madness moments, really special goals. And the second one, it literally turns inside, and I'm saying he can't do it again, surely. And as he unleashes a second, and it's like, wow. And then, but just his general play as well tonight. You know, he was beating his fullback inside, outside. It was turning him every single which way. It was a really good performance, and hopefully this is the start of a really big week for him, in the sense of, you know, we spoke about on Wednesday's show where pressure moments create characters that come to the front and steal the limelight and take it and become the man. You know, we've seen the playoff team, you know, with so many different people stepping up in that playoff final. If this is the start of the week for him, and he can keep this going for the next 2, it's going to be a really he'll cement his place, whether he's here next year or not. As you know, I mean, look how Dos Santos, for example, is revered still as a player, and he was only here for a brief period in a time that really didn't mean a whole lot. Let's be honest. So just you know, a really exciting performance from Amari.
Yeah, I mean, it's also easy to forget amongst all that absolute mayhem that was in that 90 minutes. Then, I mean, Wes Burns assist back from injury. George Hurst goal.
Probably the worst assist he'll have all season, but assist is assist, right?
Yeah, he'll take it though, won't he?
And George Hurst as well, obviously back. Get on the score sheet. I mean, I thought they at parts they looked rusty. Them 2, you could see they'd had some time away, as you would expect. But it was really pleasing to see, obviously, the first goal, particularly with Hurst. Just an instinctive finish. Good to have him back. And I thought, again, he highlighted what we missed not having him in the lineup. You know, just I called him Velcro because everything sticks to him. And I thought in that first half particularly, again, he was bringing the team with him, which I think the front 4, the 3 behind him particularly, really need.
Yeah, 100%. I think he shows exactly the type of qualities that none of our other strikers are able to offer us in this team. And I think for him, again, like you say there, he was shaking off a lot of rustiness in that game, but I don't think anyone expected any different. I think he came off at around about the time that I would have expected him to come off anyway, for the players that I would have expected to come on for him. But yeah, I think the goal for him, bearing in mind he's been out since Boxing Day, I think that's just a nice little confidence booster for him, because it's one of them. I mean, to come, never mind to come back into the squad after 4 months out after doing your hamstring, but to start and then lead the line at this point when we're still fighting for automatic promotion. I mean, that is some pressure. That is some high pressure game to come back into it and get a goal. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm more than delighted to see him back in that starting lineup. I think now, like you say, going into a crucial week, I think he himself could be that very difference that we need in terms of, especially Tuesday, holding up against them there. But yeah, it's gonna be a horrible week, isn't it? It's going to be a horrible, horrible week. Oh, mic's off.
Sorry, my mistake. It's going to be a horrible few days until Tuesday.
Yes.
And then if we can get a positive result on Tuesday, then it's going to be it's going to be a really it's going to be a bad week regardless whether we get a positive result on Tuesday or not. But definitely, because that excitement, that nerves, that knowing you just need something out of it's just there's so many different things that you can take away. We could have alleviated that pressure tonight a little bit on ourselves. We didn't do it, and that is not the Ipswich way, is it? Let's be honest. We don't alleviate pressure on ourselves. We can do it the hard way. Then this is a football club that I've grown to love. But no, we'll do things the hard way. But we're in an amazing position. It's still in our hands. It's still all to play for in terms of what we can achieve and how we play. And it's still, Leeds might play Southampton next weekend and might not get anything because Southampton are a team that need a result themselves, having just been absolutely walloped by Leicester.
Well, I suppose if you're a Southampton fan, you're going into the playoffs now on this horrible run that I imagine that you would now want your final game against Leeds. You mean what? They've lost 3 games in a row now, so you're not going to want to end your season on another loss. So I think for them, I think surely you'd think that would light a fire under them to try and get a result against Leeds. And plus, I mean, we don't know whether Leeds will still be licking the wounds from yesterday. I think no one really could have predicted 4-0 yesterday. That was a proper coupon buster if I'd ever seen one. So we don't. Well, that's it. We don't know what's going to happen. There's 2 teams there. One that could still be licking the wounds, and one that really needs a win going into those playoffs because it's going to be a really nervy Saturday ahead. But
yeah. But we need to avoid a defeat Tuesday at Coventry, obviously, because otherwise the goal difference question looms its ugly head, and we don't want that. Do we really? Coventry and Huddersfield have nothing to play for, says Sean. He also won £25 on match bingo tonight, but they could prevent getting automatic spot. Borden Blue says defeat against Coventry is unthinkable. So let's not even think Borden Blue. Let's not even think it. All right. Morsey and Massimo in the midfield tonight. At times we weren't at our best. I think it's probably fair to say in that area. How did you see both of their performances?
Again, you struggle to not come across as being too harsh when you rate them in a game like that, because we have scored 3 goals. It's not. I wouldn't say it's as solid as a partnership that we had as the season has gone on. I feel like towards the end of the season, it started to show a few more gaps. I think it started to show signs of. It's a bit like a cheap sofa. There comes a time when it starts showing like the wear and tear of all the rigors that's been on it. So it is happening. The cracks are starting to show, and we are becoming a bit less solid in that midfield. But then again, it's that's why we've got Taylor to come on as a sub in these games to give us a bit of a boost of energy, because I mean we if we go into next season, you would imagine that Mass isn't going to be in that starting lineup, and you'd probably say Morsey is you'd imagine Morsey will still be there, obviously, as our captain, but you'd imagine Taylor will take over that role
if promoted.
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? Because I think if you get promoted, I think the more money that comes into the club, then these players that maybe would have been on the journey in the Championship, maybe it just isn't the right time for them, and maybe they find a new club, and we have to invest in a bit more quality in that midfield for much more money. Yeah, I think that midfield now is just starting to show signs of a bit of wear and tear and a bit of tiredness, because we're not as solid as what it once was throughout this season. But tonight, I struggle to be harsh, but it was what I would call an average performance. An average performance.
Okay. Yeah. Lots of comments in the chat, sort of saying leggy, bit tired, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But, I thought at times, I say, we'd lost control twice, particularly. We conceded at the back end of that period for me. Sega says, agreed, Morton Mazzy looked very leggy tonight. Harps conceded more goals in 16th place. Millwall madness that it's still in our hands. Yeah, it absolutely is, but it is in our hands at the moment. Curate, Taylor's not Premier League player for him, such a step up. I probably, possibly agree with that. Curate. All right, before we close up tonight, don't forget we are back tomorrow at 1:30 for more in-depth analysis. Look at it. Well, I say analysis, just more depth reaction to 6 goals, 3-3. Oh, what could have been? But we walk out with a point. Who's your man of the match this evening, Curtis?
Oh, it's got to be Amari, hasn't it? It's got to be Amari.
It's fairly straightforward, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, even if all the best, well, no one else really even came close for me in a township. Before we do close, we mentioned Taylor there. Chaplin made way for Taylor. Travis came on into the midfield. Did that surprise you somewhat?
It did surprise me, Travis coming on, because I think what we were attempting to do there was, I think we were trying to add a bit of grit into that midfield, because I think I remember one of the comments from a Blackburn fan when we did initially sign him was that he would tackle his own nan if it meant winning the game. So I think that's what we were trying to do. I think we were trying to introduce a bit of grit into that midfield. Didn't really seem to change that midfield much, but then again, we're talking about Travis, who hasn't had many minutes in recent weeks. Taylor again. Taylor's not, to be fair to him, he's not been able to get a consistent run of games, whether that be due to injury or form of others. He's never really been able to get a consistent run of minutes in order to show his quality. So his levels of performance do seem to go up and down a fair bit depending on who we're playing against. So again, what the things he puts into the games, I'm never really surprised of. But yeah, no, I could see the logic behind Travis coming on. It's just a shame it didn't really work out the way that one would imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just surprised. Maybe I'm always against taking Chaplin off, particularly, but that's because I like Chaplin and I always think he's got a goal in him somewhere, really. But hey, that's my McKenna. Talking about McKenna, were you surprised at the reaction to the third goal that we were treated to via the Sky cameras with McKenna in the dugout?
The banging on the plexiglass.
The banging, yeah. I'd call that punching the plexiglass, the glass, or whatever you call that in the dugout.
No, I'm not surprised, because again, whilst I suppose in the heat of the moment, everyone has frustrations, and this is a manager who's seen his team go ahead 3 times in the game, and he's now seen his team concede 3 times in the game, albeit like quite sloppy goals. So he's probably very frustrated, more than any of us, that we've scored 3 goals away from home and still not managed to get the 3 points. So no, not so shocked to see that. I mean, the man's human, and it's all well and good saying that we take one game at a time and we don't take notice of the table, but that man knows that this week is a high pressure week, and he knows that if he goes up, his stock rises immensely. I mean, his stock is already very high, but he knows that if this week goes all well for him, he's got 2 promotions in 2 years. And the teams we're battling against, Leicester, think of how many millions have been invested. Southampton, how many millions have been invested. Leeds, how many millions have been invested there. So he knows himself what the pressure is like. So no, I think he's just human. The man is human. He might be God status to some at the moment, but I think that reaction there, I think it just shows that he is human, and he's not this robot that trots out in front of the cameras. Because I think the players behind the scenes as well will. I think tonight, I think he'll make his feelings known about how he sees those goals. But no, if anything, I think it's good to see the manager like that, because I think it shows that he's well aware of what the issues are that have come up against us tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Curtis, thank you so much for your appearance this evening. Don't forget, we are back at 1:30 tomorrow. But until then, like, subscribe, enjoy the rest of your Saturday night if you can. I've got a feeling, if you're like me, you might be having a beer or two just to settle those. I've gone through. Oh, it's been hell for the last 9 minutes. But there we go. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow. 1:30. We'll see you then.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I get down low and I get blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. Hopeless lover. I woke up all soaked in sweat, weird chills running down my neck. I'm going crazy from just the thought of you. A long blonde hair.